the things that are in the book, it's a time capsule of the way his office was running at the beginning, and I don't think anybody was surprised by it. And I didn't think there was anything new in it. If you take out all the he said, she said stuff, which you're never going to be able to verify unless he releases the tapes, there was nothing new in there at all about Donald Trump even. I mean, that's the guy we elected. I got it. But there was another thing that happened the very next day, and that was the New York Times op-ed of some anonymous high-ranking senior official that is pretty much admitted to a secret combination or a cabal that tried to talk about invoking the 25th Amendment, which means, he's incapacitated or too crazy for office. They didn't, quote, want to cause a constitutional crisis, so instead they're working behind the scenes to thwart what he wants to do.
Yeah.
Bill, is there any way that this is constitutional or legal or good that you can see?
Yeah, it's legal because even though you work for a president, you have freedom of speech.
No. I mean, this is not a constitutional rule of law. If you're working for him, to be able to go into his office and say, Mr. President, no, this is why it's wrong, that's one thing. But to covertly subvert the president, walk out of his office and go, okay, guys, we're not going to do any of that. That's not constitutional.
No, it's a personnel matter. I don't think you're going to get anywhere on a constitutional level of this. But let me put some perspective into it because I know you enjoy that. They did the same thing to Abraham Lincoln, the team of rivals. I mean, they tried everything to blunt Lincoln's opinion about how to wage the Civil War. The same exact thing happened. John Adams, his crew, the people working for him, they almost hung him in the Alien and Sedition Acts and all of that. This isn't anything new. Every president's got dissenters and people who try to sabotage from within. Every single president. Ronald Reagan, in the 25th Amendment thing, they actually discussed it if you read Killing Reagan. We laid it right out for you. After he was shot, he was foggy some days, and his staff, they didn't know whether he was going to be able to carry on. So all of this is hyperbole, and it doesn't concern me. The New York Times obviously is out to get Trump removed from office. They'll do anything. When this is all masked, it'll probably be Tom Arnold who wrote the op-ed.
Any doubt that name will come out?
Yes, I think somebody will squeal on him. But once it comes out, then if it's Anderson Cooper, it'll be a big scandal.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
We talked to somebody yesterday. He's a journalist. I don't even remember his name. What was his name, Stu? Remember? Matt LaPlante. That was it. And you apparently hate him, and so that was one of the reasons why we talked to him.
I don't even know him.
Yeah, apparently you said that he was, I don't know.
He wasn't a journalist. At one point, apparently, you invited him on the show, and he wouldn't come on.
Who does he work for?
Salt Lake Tribune
and a few other papers.
All right, so he's some local clown who said something ridiculous, and I want him to come and defend
That's
it,
exactly how his website describes him, a local clown. Okay. Yes, you're a beautiful man. So anyway, you didn't like him, but that's one of the reasons why we called him right away. After the show, we got this tweet yesterday that he said, I've put all the phrases and everything into Google, and I'm matching phrases that have been used by people. I've been taking the phrases and then putting names next to them, see if anything pops up. He said, relentlessly, 2 names keep popping up, and only 2 names. Ian Bremmer, who is a guy who's a writer and has written a few op-eds for the New York Times, and John Huntsman Jr.,
and they both work for Trump?
John Huntsman works for Trump. He's the ambassador to Russia.
Okay, gotcha. I don't think that's possible.
You don't?
The other guy, is he a speechwriter?
No, so the other guy's just a writer, and he's on TV here and there.
But they were neighbors in
work
Washington. They're good friends with each other.
So the accusation or the inclination, I don't know what you want to say it was. He wasn't actually accusing it, but his theory basically said that Bremer co-wrote it with Huntsman, and Bremer and Huntsman have co-written an op-ed for the New York Times previously.
And Huntsman is the guy who did the no labels thing. And, it does
he worked
read
for the Obama administration as well.
Yeah, it does read like Huntsman, but there's no evidence of that other than this one guy.
Yeah, well, I have one word: phooey. You haven't heard that one in a while.
Is that the word of the day today?
Phooey. Yeah, I don't care. I don't speculate. It's boring. I got something on Nike. Do you care?
Yeah.
Okay. Today, writing in the New York Post, Phil Mushnick. I love that last name, Mushnick. Points out that Nike has been credibly accused of paying overseas workers nothing to make its very expensive Air Jordan sneakers. In fact, for years, Nike's been criticized for exploiting foreign labor. So I'm paging Colin Kaepernick in my tweet. Hey, Colin, about that social justice, huh? Dreaming? I think they're dreaming over there in China, making the Nikes for no money. Isn't that nice? What do you think?
Well, I have something for you. Tell me what you think of this.
All right.
The stock of Tesla taking a dive today.
Yeah, it's a good car. A friend of mine has it.
It's a great car.
And I like it.
Yeah.
But Elon Musk, that's his name, right? Elon Musk?
Yeah, that's his name, yes.
Okay. I don't follow this stuff, Beck. I mean, I got a car that's 4 years old. It gets me where I want to go.
Well, he's more than just a car guy. I mean, he's more than just Tucker.
Anyway, I went to a party one time, and I don't go to parties much, but I was paid a lot of money to do it. And Elon Musk was there, and he was sitting there, and he didn't introduce him, but somebody introduced me to him. He said, "This I say, how you doing?" Well, no. The guy didn't say one word at the party for like 3 hours to anybody. So that's my Elon Musk story. He looks like a guy who's
Work on that story and bring it back. Work on that. What'd you say? He's a little frazzled? Well,
it looks like it.
His stock is going down today, and there's two reasons I want to bring this up. His stock is going down today because he was on the Joe Rogan show, and he smoked pot on the Joe Rogan show, which
legal pot or no?
Yeah. In California, it was all legal. It was a blunt, and it was half tobacco, half pot, I guess.
I love that.
Yeah, me too. You and I, we're smoking our blunts all the time.
You get lung cancer twice as fast.
Yeah. So anyway, really he's smoking this, and you're thinking to yourself, what are you doing? I mean, you are a CEO of a company. And people are saying that you're a little unhinged.
Right.
What are you doing?
Well, you don't know what he's doing. What he's doing is there's going to be a new advertising campaign for the Tesla, and that is when you charge up your car, your electric charge, you get a free pot.
Free blood.
It's like very much in the drug culture there.
You're smooth. No, you're smooth. The other thing is
$150,000 for the car, so here's a little bag of pot.
The other thing that reason why I want to bring this up is I've been watching Joe Rogan for a while, and Joe Rogan was the guy who was will you eat this spider for $100? He was that guy. And he started a podcast, I don't know how long ago, and it has grown into an absolute force. No one in the mainstream media sees that they have been dethroned. They're just
it's just like BillO'Reilly.com.
Well,
it's just like my thing
with pot.
I mean, we're going crazy, and thank you for mentioning it. Oh, you did?
Sure.
I did. All right, okay. So Rogan's good. I got a gift for you and Stu.
Oh, really?
Do?
What?
For you, Beck.
What is that?
Okay. We started a new concierge service on BillO'Reilly.com.
Did you? Really?
Yeah.
Can I get a
little extra money?
Can I get a hookah there?
Yeah, we send you pot. No,
okay.
That's not true. The concierge service means you directly if you sign up for the service, and I'm giving it to you and Stu free. Okay, because I know you need this service.
I do.
You can email me directly with any questions you have, and I'll answer them.
Well, that is something,
what people are. What a lot of these concierge members are doing? They're asking me questions about their kids in school. It's fascinating.
Why do you know about their kids in school? Is there something we should know about here? Or?
Certain teachers are doing this. How do you handle it?
Yeah.
What should the kids say? What are my rights? Should I allow it to happen?
See, we have
a lot of that.
We have something very, very similar where you can just email me at glenbeck.com, and then I don't even read it.
Yeah,
and so it just goes into a black hole.
Not really successful. But at BillO'Reilly.com, I do.
Yeah,
I do, and I answer all of them. And there are some really insane ones too. Yeah, there's one that people write in and they say, we have a city council member named Hortense, and she's really mean. What should I do?
And what is your advice?
My advice is, don't ever come out of the house.
Right.
That's it.
Okay.
If this is what you're paying to ask me, just don't go out of the house. Stay inside.
Bill O'Reilly from BillO'Reilly.com. You can sign up. When you join BillO'Reilly.com, is that what you get? You get this?
No, you're a premium member. When you join, you can upgrade to concierge membership, and you and Stu are getting it.
Oh wow!
I'm very excited about this.
Because you guys need a lot of advice, and I'm there for you.
It's like Christmas on a Holocaust Day. It's wholly inappropriate. Thank you. I don't even know what that means. Bill, thank you very much.
Sure.
All right,
might have been the blunt that I had. Thank you.
You should stop doing drugs on the air. That's one thing.
You think so?
We should try to.
Elon might want to think about that too.
Ask Bill O'Reilly with his concierge email if you should continue to do drugs on the air, and see if that's a good idea. It might not be. We'll have to check it out with Bill.
All right.
BillO'Reilly.com.
Okay. Whatever.
Glenn Beck.
Hello, and welcome to the program. Glad you are here. Today is the first day the tickets go on sale to the general public. Are they available now, or do they start at a certain time? They're available right now. If you go to glennbeck.com/tour, it's our Addicted to Outrage tour. I am announcing, I think, an additional city Monday or Tuesday, I think. I think it's next week. I'm not really sure. Everything blurs to me. But I think I'm announcing another additional city next week. But there are plenty of cities all over the country, and we would love to see you. It's going to be fun. There's going to be some laughs. There's going to be somebody joining me, and we'll tell you about that coming up in the next few weeks. But you want to grab your tickets now. And it's our Addicted to Outrage tour. You can find a city near you and come and see us. Find it at glennbeck.com/tour.
Pretty exciting. You haven't done this in a long time, so it'll be
I'm so nervous.
A lot of fun. Plus, if you're, you can get books too. Some of the packages have the signed books involved in them, meet and greets, and all sorts of other stuff. Yeah. So pretty cool.
Yeah, I like the fact that one of the meet and greets includes alcohol, which. Being an alcoholic and seeing that the show is, named, addicted to.
A lot of times they do this, like when you have like a big drug problem, they'll give you other things that are kind of bad too, but they're a lesser addiction.
Yeah.
So this is one of the ways we're treating your addiction to outrage.
Yeah, I will tell you
we're
that.
We're going to liquor you up.
Yeah, if you're an alcoholic. That's much better than being addicted to outrage.
Is it really?
Yeah, it is. It really is.
It is, at least at night.
Yeah.
I don't know in the morning or during the day if it's better.
Yeah, it is.
Really?
Yeah. This is somebody who's been there. Yeah. At least the beginning. Before your life completely spirals out of control, I wasted all of those good blackouts on nothing.
Yeah.
There's nothing I wanted to forget at that time. Now,
so much.
Oh, I could drink myself into oblivion during one of the Senate hearings, and I wouldn't remember it. It would be fantastic.
Do we have a bar here at the studios?
Kids, don't waste your alcoholic blackouts on nothing. Save them for later in life. You might need them. Hello, Stu.
Mr. Beck?
Can we just talk about some, human stuff here for a second? Just for a second. Have you gone to, have you seen Crazy Rich Asians?
I did see Crazy Rich Asians, yes, last weekend.
It is the most aptly titled movie I've ever seen.
Yeah. It's not, they're not, because you think, are they calling them crazy? No, they're just saying they're crazy rich.
Yeah.
There's a lot of craziness in the movie, but...
Yeah, they're Crazy Rich Asians. Somebody asked Tanya the other day, have you seen that movie? She said, yeah. Well, what's it about? Crazy Rich Asians. Yeah. I mean, it's just, that describes it. Did you like it?
Yeah, it was fun.
I thought it was lots of fun.
It was fun. It was
You know who I really strangely like, and she probably hates my guts?
This is a very open book, but go ahead.
Yeah. Let's start in the A's. Awkwafina. You know who Awkwafina is?
No, I don't.
The actress? Yes.
I know this. I know the
She was
water.
in Ocean's 8, and she's in this one. She was the blonde Asian, the friend.
Yeah, she's very funny.
She is hysterical. I just love her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was good. It was a good movie. It was because you remember the 80s, and I know probably for you maybe not. Lots of drugs going through the system.
I wouldn't even dignify that with an answer.
But there was a time where it was okay to celebrate wealth as something that was not the end goal of your life, but that something was generally positive and something that maybe you'd want to get involved in, right?
Yeah.
And there was all those movies like Michael J. Fox would make The Secret of My Success.
Yeah.
And it was all basically about him trying to get rich, and at the end he kind of learns there's more to it than that. But it was still it glorified that a little bit. And then there was an era where rappers and sort of rap culture embraced, and this is when, by the way, Donald Trump was incredibly popular with African Americans, and that culture really, made that a big deal. That was okay. And it was interesting in this way, in that this movie made it sort of okay in some ways. To go after to be wealthy.
No, it didn't. No, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're well. I mean,
yes. On the surface, yes, but it was glorifying crazy rich people.
Asians, yes.
Yes. But it was very clear, though. It's what you said it. I said it incorrectly. I said crazy rich people. Crazy rich Asians, that's okay. Crazy rich white people, that's obscene. Okay?
Yeah.
But if it's on the other side of the planet where people have been oppressed for a long time, they can be the biggest capitalists and the biggest money pigs ever, and it's not so bad.
No.
It's not so bad. They're taking it away from the white man.
I mean, most of the good characters in the movie are, of course, embarrassed.
They're embarrassed by it.
About the wealth, and but still,
but they're not embarrassed by the wealth. They're embarrassed by the decadence and the meaninglessness of the wealth.
Yeah,
I thought it was a great story. I thought it was, in some ways, The Great Gatsby. Just set in, a happier Great Gatsby. I hate to say Great Gatsby, because if you've ever watched it or read it, you're like, oh, dear God, no. But it has that same party atmosphere, that same over-the-top, oh, my gosh, what is it like to have that kind of money? And then the grotesqueness of it, but it's a happy story.
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
I liked it.
I liked it too. Can I give you another one that I think is positive?
Yeah.
On the other side of this equation.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Owens, the actor from The Cosby Show. We talked about him a little bit earlier this week.
Yeah.
He had a picture taken of him working as a bagger at Trader Joe's. And
can you believe that?
This guy,
he had to take a job at a grocery store.
And by the way, his shirt is too tight. He seems to be overweight now.
Only peasants work at grocery stores.
Right. And so that was kind of the attitude of particularly one Fox News article, but many publications sort of did this. And right away, I think a lot of really good people said, "Wait a minute, what the heck?" So the guy took a job and is actually working for a living. Good for him. We should be proud of that.
Mm-hmm.
So listen to this. This is the first person when he realized an article was going to be written about him.
Oh, I love this story.
Yeah, he texted his 19-year-old son to apologize, which is really rough. He said, he was the first person I thought of, and I texted, "I'm really sorry if this embarrasses you." He texted me back a beautiful response that made me cry, and I knew it was going to be okay. Now, because of partially because of the attention, I guess, he is now mulling over some acting jobs that he might be able to take, which might be cool. And it's kind of nice. I think people really look at him and say, this is a good. You kind of wish everybody who has this moment, and they kind of come into our living room. And the Cosby Show was in our living room, luckily with Bill, not so literally, but it was in.
Well, he never got near the bar.
You never got near the bar, luckily. But these people, they become in some ways in a roundabout way your friend, right?
Yeah.
Where you kind of care about them, and you feel like, okay, someone, that person accomplished something amazing. This is a legendary television show. This guy was on it. You just believe in the back of your mind that all these people are kind of living at least a halfway decent, life when it comes to wealth. It's not true, right? And people,
how many times do we read about these people and we see them and they're big and fat? They look like me. And you're like, whoa, what happened to that guy, right? And then they don't accomplish anything. They're strung out on drugs, and they're just a nightmare. Here's a guy who gave it up, said, you know what, it's not, I can't make it in acting. I don't have enough. I've got to support my family. So, yes, I'm going to take a normal job. This is a great story.
Yeah.
A great story.
Yeah, and the reaction, I think, this is totally across aisles. There's nothing political about it. The overarching reaction to him was really positive. He writes, "I imagine the worst case scenario to brace myself and somehow managed to be worse than I expected. The pictures of me, the words that were used to describe me were so demeaning. It was humiliating acutely for a very short time. And then there was this amazing rescue from the world." I mean, imagine you're in the middle of going through this, and now he's seen in such a positive light, and rightfully so. I think that's a great story.
And who hasn't been in a situation like this where it may not have happened to you publicly like that, but something has happened, and because of you, your kids are going to be embarrassed or whatever, and it's going to come back on your kids, and your heart is breaking, and it doesn't even have to be that. It can be, I remember the worst Christmas of my life, because I made it that, was the Christmas I couldn't afford anything for the kids. I just couldn't afford anything. And I felt like such a bad dad for the entire fall and Christmas. I just felt like, you're the worst pathetic guy ever. You can't afford anything for your kids for Christmas. Well, no, it's not about that. It's not about that. My kids don't remember that Christmas. It's not like, it wasn't like, oh my gosh, yeah, Dad, we remember this dark Christmas. I do, but they don't. And so we carry this stuff around that we have to do this or have to be this. In this case, he didn't want to be, he knew that the press would take and make him look horrible. And I'm sorry for what you have to go through. And his kid to come back and say, Dad, I want you to have this job. I couldn't be more proud of you.
Yeah.
Is just, I mean, that is a Cosby Show ending.
Glenn Beck.
Hello, my friend. Glad you're here. By the way, today is the first day that you can buy on sale for the general public the tickets to the Addicted to Outrage tour coming to a theater near you. And I will be there and love to meet you and love to have you involved in this. It's going to be a night of learning, of possible little dramatics, a little comedy, and lots of fun. So join us. You can get your tickets today. Coming to a city near you. Do you have the cities by any chance?
Of course I do, Glenn. It's one of those things that I've memorized long ago. And one of the things was, here it is, San Antonio, Texas, Houston, Texas, Dallas, Richmond, Virginia, Hershey, Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, PA in November. We've got Cleveland, Kansas City, Evansville, Indiana, Tulsa, Tampa, and Orlando, with more cities to come.
So join us. Get your tickets today. And you can find those at Ticketmaster or glennbeck.com/tour.
Yeah, I'm interested about something here. Do we have a second to get into this, Glenn? About this change the Democrats have made? It's not getting any coverage, and I think it's fascinating.
Okay.
To appease the Bernie Sanders crew, because last time they were like, well, Bernie really would have won if not for the super delegates. And you remember this whole controversy over Hillary. And so they wanted to do something to...
By the way, you know why the super delegates, why that was enacted by the Democrats?
Yeah, God, I don't remember, though.
Reagan. They saw what happened with Reagan, that all of a sudden this outsider came out of nowhere.
And somehow won.
And they wanted to stop that. No, we can't have any outsiders come in.
So the Bernie Sanders said, basically, hey, Bernie Sanders is the Reagan of the left, right?
Yep,
like he's the principled guy that's going to come in and you fought him off. First of all, it's not true. Hillary Clinton beat Bernie Sanders by a lot of votes. And, some people will say, well, Debbie Wasserman Schultz wanted Hillary to win and they were setting it up for her. The bottom line is voters voted the way they wanted to vote. And she won by millions of votes. It was closer than it should have been for Hillary, but it was not close.
Right. No, here's the deal. Bernie Sanders is clearly the guy that the Democrats should run in 2020.
Right.
Right? I mean, because there's a movement for him.
Right.
Vast movement.
So the progressive, the hardcore progressives made a push to get the rules changed and get the super delegates out of the race. Okay? So now super delegates can't be part of it.
Mm-hmm.
The funny part about this is with the changes, it's actually going to wind up hurting the far left.
Why?
Because the way they set it up was they got rid of superdelegates on the first ballot, and all you have to do is get over a majority of the delegates yourself. So that seems like, okay, well, man, that's easy. I mean, Bernie can do that, right? But of course, the establishment's a little too smart for that one. So what they did is they got rid of these superdelegates, but you have to get a majority. So think about how this race is going to play out. You're going to start this race with, 15 candidates? And so for the first 10 primaries, probably no one, just like Donald Trump, right, back in 2016, no one's getting 50% of the vote. They're all going to get like 26 and win primaries with 26% of the vote. And it's going to be very difficult. You're going to have to beat all of the other candidates. So when it comes to the end of this election cycle, you're going to have to not only beat whoever the main candidate is, but also beat all of the other candidates and get over 50%. If you don't, on the second ballot, the superdelegates come in. So,
oh my gosh!
So unless you completely dominate, like Bernie Sanders comes in and wins every primary.
Well, that's what's going to happen if they run him.
Right,
that's exactly going to happen if they run him. So run him.
So unless he
Keith Ellison for vice president.
But if you dominate, you would have got the super delegates anyway last time. If Bernie Sanders wins 70% of the vote, he's going to get the super delegates anyway. It's not going to make a difference. So what they've set up here is a way for super delegates to come in and rescue the second place person. It's amazing.